Have you ever looked back at something that you built and realized you were building blind? Have you ever stepped into something, full strength, full boldness, and then halfway through you realized, I don't even know why I'm here? Have you ever prayed for God to open a door for you, and then when it opened, you didn't know what to do next? See, this is what happens when you got power, but you don't have the pattern. When you got movement, but you don't have a map. When you've got thoughts, when you got logic, but you don't have the Spirit that's got to guide you to where you're going to go beyond what anything that this world has ever known. It's what happens when you got hustle, but you don't have heaven. It's because wisdom is what shapes your strength. Wisdom is what gives you clarity for your calling. And so it's not just about knowing what to do. It's about knowing why God is doing it. This is where divine design meets Spirit-led obedience. And so wisdom is Spirit that shows you what to build before you even start swinging the hammer. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask you again, have you ever had strength but you didn't have sight? If so, this message is for you. So say it with me, I'm a wisdom walker.
I'm a wisdom walker.
I'm a wisdom walker.
I'm a wisdom walker.
Everybody say, if heaven ain't showing, I ain't going. And then our other phrase that we're going to be saying today is, don't miss it. Everybody say, don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
It's easy to miss. Everybody say, don't miss it. So wisdom walkers, they're the ones who do the exact opposite of what the mindless zombies out there in the world walking around regurgitating what they're told are doing. You know what I'm talking about? The mindless zombies. They've been indoctrinated, domesticated into just regurgitating words. We went to school, and when you go to school, they teach you that the answers are more important than the questions. But they're teaching you answers on a blueprint, a Babylonian blueprint that blueprint is built to build Babylon. And the whole educational system, it trains you how to be a slave for Satan. People don't know that, but that's literally what's happening. You become a slave for Satan, building his kingdom, building his world, because we were all born into sin. Sin is not to actually be punished, it's the perception to be corrected. It's a perceived separation from God. And so without wisdom, you're going to find yourself on a hamster wheel. Just keep running faster and faster, but never actually getting anywhere. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That's what happened in the school systems that we grew up in. It literally lacks wisdom, but it intentionally removed wisdom. It intentionally removed wisdom because if you had wisdom, you wouldn't be working for Satan. You wouldn't be spending 40 years a year or 40 hours a week at minimum. Most people are doing a lot more than that. 40 hours a week for 40 years of their life, just so they can finally have a good life for a little while. But what'd they do? They gave up their purpose for approval. They gave up who they truly are for this shell. They became a shell of a person and built a shell of a world. My wife Mel, she went to school. She went through. You didn't graduate high school, right? Or she didn't graduate high school, so she almost escaped. But then, what grabbed you that made you go back into the indoctrination domestication? What happened? Because you were escaped, you were free. But how'd the program get you back in?
I needed safety and security.
She needed safety and security. And through all those years of indoctrination domestication, they told you safety and security does not come from God. Don't be like the birds that God takes care of. Don't be like the flowers that God takes care of, who are just living their purpose so they got provision. Be a slave to the system, and as long as you're a slave to the system, then we'll give you safety and security. So she was all lost out there, orphaned. See, the birds and the bees and the flowers and the tree, they're not orphaned. But we're orphaned in our perspective because, again, God is omnipresent. There's no spot that God is not, but most people don't know that because what you believe to be true is true for you, even if it's bullshit. And we went through an indoctrination domestication process that programmed us to believe that God doesn't exist and God's not real and He's not here. It says you're going to actually learn how to provide for yourself, and how you're going to do it is by regurgitating answers that we tell you to regurgitate. And if you will do this, then you'll get good grades. And if you get good grades, you can get a good job. If you get a good job, then you can have a good life. But we're not here for a good life. We're here for a God life. Good life ends in death. a God life lives in life. So Mel, she'd almost escaped. But then the program had already hit her too hard, so now she's out there. I don't know what to do. She thought about going to, you were going to go to be a Coast Guard or something, right? And then they wouldn't take you because
I got my GED.
you got your GED to go in the Coast Guard?
Waiting to go to basic training.
Waiting to go basic training.
I was waiting, they canceled me, and so we have enough GED.
And while she was waiting, they canceled her, said we didn't have enough GED people, so you can't come in. So she went back to college. And then when she got to college, she's like, well, okay, what do I do? And they give her all the programs. Which program would you like? Uh-huh. Did it just hit? Which program would you like to program yourself with? What robot would you like to be? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe that one? I guess that one. I don't know. What about that one? And she didn't know why she was picking what she was picking. She was picking because she's already been programmed. Why did you pick what you picked? You picked dental hygienist, right? Or is that what? That was the thing in the book, like, and you're like, that. What was there was already a program running that programmed you to pick that, right? What was that program?
My grandmother was a dental assistant.
Her grandmother was a dental assistant.
And I couldn't do my grandpa's work. He was too smart.
And she couldn't do her grandpa's work. He was too smart.
And so for that reason, for significant reasons.
So for that reason and the need for significance, what was part of the programming, the program teaches you to worship significance because everybody's trying to get love, but they're leaving what's real in the pursuit of what appears to be. You're never going to get love out there until you realize that it's already in here. Once it's in here, where you're coming from is where you're going, so you're never going to chase it anymore. But if you don't have the love on the inside, you're going to look for significance. You're going to look for love that you're never going to find it because it's an inside job. You got to get right with God first. The Bible says there's 2 commandments that all the law, all the prophets, everything hangs on this. It says, love God. That's number 1. And then, everybody say, and then. Let me say it one more time. And then. Actually, let's go ahead and start. Because it's important. It's very important right now. Everybody say, first. Love God. And then. Love thy neighbor as thyself. That and then, I'm telling you, that's so important. That's number 2. Love thy neighbor love thy neighbor as thyself is number 2, not number 1. But Babylon will teach you that's number 1. Because as long as you start trying to get love from somebody else, you're never going to get it. And as long as you never get the only thing that you live off of, the only thing that you are, as long as you never get that, you'll always be a hamster on a wheel chasing the carrot. What do I got to do? There's always going to be a void in you. And as long as there's a void in you, you can be manipulated. And so they took wisdom out of school so that you would have a void inside of you so you would not know who you are, whose you are, and what you are, and why you are. So you would always be looking for something that you're never going to find, but they keep telling you what it is. But it doesn't work. It's hollow. Has anybody here ever gotten what they told you to get, and when you got it, it was hollow? There was nothing in there. Like, what the heck? Mike Reed knows what I'm talking about. He was on here earlier. I think he's still there. Bradley knows what I'm talking about. Bradley got very successful in the old world. And realized it was hollow. The whole thing's a lie. It's crazy. What's so funny? So, you all hollowed out. You get all hollowed. You go to school to get hollowed out, to take the God out of you, to take the wisdom out of you, so that you'll be. Because this is not hidden information. It's public knowledge. Like, they don't hide this at all. They said that the reason they built the school system was because after the Industrial Revolution, they needed more factory workers. This is the whole purpose of the school system. They needed factory workers. They needed robots that would just, when the bell rings, beep, okay, get up. What shall I do now? Okay. Don't ask questions. Remember, the answer is more important than the question. We're going to tell you what answers that you should have, And all you do is, it's like, you ever seen the Transformers, the movie Transformers? And there's the yellow car Bumblebee. Bumblebee can't actually talk, like he doesn't have his own voice, like his own language. The only way he talks is he's got a tape recorder in him, and whenever he wants to say something, he has to play something that's already on. There's like already a phrase. He has to go, find some phrase that somebody else already said, and then push the button, and then that phrase comes out so that he can say what he wants to say. You know what I'm talking about? Can you ever find yourself in that? That was the whole educational system, indoctrination, domestication process. And we're taught it's so good. It's good to go to school. It's good to get good grades. Well, I don't give a shit about good. I'm here for God. I've never seen a bird die of starvation. Anybody ever seen a bird die of starvation? Unless it was under the care of a person. There has been birds die of starvation if they've been under the care of people. But other than that, birds don't die of starvation. But people do all the time. Are birds smarter than people? No, they're just wiser than people because they didn't go through a school that taught them to get God out of them. They're still submitted. They're still obeying. They're still following their purpose. Every plant has a purpose, and it's just purposing. But people gave up their purpose for approval, for safety and security, and significance. But it's all hollow, and it all leads to hell. What are you laughing about? What a joke. Mel's over here laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing about? She's like, just what a joke my life was. But she thought it was the greatest thing ever. Like, look at me. I'm a dental hygienist. Look at my scrubs, and look, all the other women are going to, look, because isn't it something like there was some significant thing about dental hygienists? Like, all the other women look up to the dental hygienists. I'll be significant now. And she spent 17 years in this career building a life that was hollow, building a life that was dead, building a life that was dumb. And then something started to rise up inside of her. Her spirit, her soul her purpose started coming back alive. 17 years. She followed the blueprint, not realizing the blueprint was a prison. She'd built a life that was a prison for her soul. And all of the people collectively are building a prison planet. And that cage door is about to slam shut. I don't know how much longer we got, but it's closer now than ever. The cage door is about to shut a prison planet that souls aren't going to be able to escape from. Because they're about to say, bow or die. They're about to say, hey, if you don't regurgitate the answers, if you don't say what we tell you to say and do what we tell you to do, we already saw a glimpse of it back when the pandemic thing happened. And they said, hey, GMO yourself, get the jab, GMO yourself. If you don't, then you're not going to be able to work. And if you don't work, you're not going to be able to eat. You're not going to be able to provide for your family. Like, we already saw a little glimpse of it. But that was just like in the world of marketing, there's a thing called a tripwire, where it's like they give you just a little small thing that's not, if they try to jump you all the way to the big thing, it's like, whoa, that's too big. No, I don't, but the small thing first, and you take the little small thing, and they're like, oh, okay, I can do that. And now you got movement, but when you're following Babylon, you're moving in the exact wrong direction. And so they tripwired people. First, they said, muzzle yourself. And they said, just lock yourselves down. Don't touch each other. Don't talk to each other. Make sure that you don't give thanks with the people you give thanks with. Just stay separate for safety and security, because obviously God's not on the throne. Science is. Trust the science. Fauci says, if you don't agree with me, you don't agree with science. I'm science. Oh my God. Well, there you go. Thank you for revealing that, because you're a freaking liar. It's now been revealed that Fauci was a liar. Everybody, he was lying. It's now been revealed. He was a liar. And, so is science. It's all a lie. It's just they're just trying to figure out how to control God. How do I control God? You can't. You can magic, you can create a little magic world where you magic for a little while and then you die. Or you can let all that bullshit go and come on home to the kingdom. Who's ready to let go of the bullshit and come on home to the kingdom? Say, I am.
I am.
Or then what you need is wisdom. Which that's what got intentionally left out of school. There's no wisdom in school. It's a bunch of information that they build it as wisdom. They create it seems like wisdom in an upside down, backwards world. A world that is devoid of God, where everybody's struggling, suffering, and just trying to survive until they die. And so there's all this wisdom on how we can survive longer. I don't care about surviving longer. I'm here to thrive, and God, I'm here to come to life. Lay down your life so you can actually have one. It's okay to have a life. Don't let one have you. Most people can't have a life because the life has them. They got so programmed to worship having a life. But they don't have it because it has them. They got their big fancy mansion to hold their big giant ego. This is going to do it, but now, look, it's even, wow, this is even more, like the hollow is even bigger now. Now I'm in a hollow hallway. Before, my hallway was real small, but now it's a hollow hallway because my hollow is coming out of me now. I'm living in a hollow now. I'm lost in nothing. So our school system intentionally lacks wisdom. Animals have wisdom, and they never went to school. Not one animal dies of starvation. Yet people who are so much smarter than animals are dying of starvation all day, every day. Because we've been disconnected by our source, on purpose and by design, by the darkness, so that we will perceive ourselves to have something missing. And as long as we perceive ourselves to have something missing, we will do whatever it takes to fill that void. And when the domestication and indoctrination system says this is what it is, that's what you do. So Mel picked a program. Okay, install this program into me now. If someone starts to choke, cut their Adam's apple open and stick a straw into it. Like, what? We were talking about this last night. She's out of nowhere. She's like, yeah, I was taught, yeah, right there. Just cut that right open and stick the straw. I'm like, how many times have you ever had to do that? How many times have you seen anybody do that? Why you only got so much space in there. Why are you going to, pick something that's going to be a high likely of actually being practical, something to implement.
You never know.
You just never know. Golly. You got God, you're never going to be choking on shit. You're choking on shit because you're choking on your own ego. You get God, all these problems go away. Like we here at the village, we never go to the hospital. We never go to the doctor. We don't need to because we're submitted to God. We're yielded to God, so we don't have the problems. The problems come from not having God. That's why you have problems. That's why you need science, which is just magic, because you're missing the miracles. When you got you got to pick. You want magic or miracles? You got to pick. Pick. Which one you want, miracles or magic? Miracles are a revealing of the truth. Magic is reinforcing the lie, but letting you stay alive longer in the lie. That's what magic does. It reinforces the lie, but lets you survive longer in it. But one day, the magic wears off, it runs out, and then you die. That's where you're headed. If you're living in Babylon, if you're letting the lies still guide you and live you, because the lies don't have a life, they live you, they live your life. If you let the lies keep living your life, you are going to die. But that's not the worst of it. Your soul won't. But it's going to be going off in the opposite direction of where you're home. You're going to infinitely, eternally being more fragmented, more disconnected, because you've got momentum, because life is short. I really want to make sure I make the most of it. Well, eternity's long. Make the most of that. You're looking at the wrong thing. You're looking at who was it that gave up their inheritance for a bowl of porridge? Esau, yeah. He gave up his I'm really hungry right now. A little bowl of porridge. He gave up his entire inheritance for a bowl of porridge. Your life is a bowl of porridge. Do not give up your inheritance. Do not give up the kingdom of God. Do not give up heaven for a bowl of porridge, for another moment of survival. Another hit that feels good for a moment, dopamine rush that feels good for a moment. Look, I'm significant. Yay. Okay, great. What happened? Oh, I got to go figure out how to get more significant. I got to get more better. I got to be like, what do I got to do next? Well, let me go find what school is teaching me how to do so I can be more of nothing that I'm calling everything. And all it is perpetuates the nothingness. It's worthless. What good is to gain the world but lose their soul? So, love God first and then love thy neighbor as thyself. See, most people love their neighbor as themselves. But the problem with that is most people hate themselves. Who knows what I'm talking about? I would say that's why I need to love God first. Because those who don't know love don't know God, for God is love. Once you love God first, now you actually have what you've been looking for. You have love. And then from that love, there's an overflow into the world around you, into the people around you. And now you're not putting conditions upon love. You're not forcing people to be who you think they should be so that you can actually love them. You're allowing them to be whatever's happening. You're in perfect peace, perfect love, perfect joy, no matter what they're doing, no matter what they're not doing. And that's the fruit. That's how you know you got God. That's how you know you got Jesus. Because now you're loving them the way he loved you. Because you were a piece of shit. And it didn't matter. He didn't try to change you. He picked you as you were. He says, yeah, you'll do, just as you are. Not, well, do I need to get all cleaned up? Did I fix my hair? Put my makeup on? He said, no, don't fix your hair. Don't put your makeup on. I want you right here, right now. Just the way you are, right here, right now. Really? You pick me like this? Yes, unconditionally. What if I don't pick you back? Still love you. Look, here's what happens. Don't pick, look, I love you. They're not picking him back. They're killing him. What did he do? What did he do? They didn't pick him back. They did the exact opposite of picking him back. They killed him. What did he do when they killed him? He loved them. He says, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. He didn't say forgive them if they stop murdering me. He says forgive them, period. They're ignorant. So that's what happens. Once you've received him, that's the way you're going to operate with everyone around you. You're going to love them how he loved you. Now, he had boundaries. It didn't mean he didn't bust out a whip and kick over a table every now and again. That's important to do that. It's very important to draw the lines, but you're not drawing the lines so that you can be okay. You're not drawing the lines for you. You're drawing the lines for them. You don't need to draw lines for you because you're already good. God's drawing the lines. God, you're inside of his kingdom. He's drawing all the lines, and you just let him draw the line around you. You let him draw his line in you, on you, wherever line he wants to draw, he draws. But he's going to tell you draw a line here, and you're like, ooh, but I don't want to draw a line there because then I'm going to lose my safety. I'm going to lose my security. I'm going to lose my source, my supply. I'm going to lose my supply. If we draw a line there, I don't want to draw the line there. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Am I talking to anybody right now? God's saying draw a line here, and you're like, I don't want to draw a line there because I'll lose my supply if I do that. What's that supply? Whatever that supply is, you need to get rid of that supply and go back to the source. Because when you got the source, you will never be following supply ever again. Supply will follow you. So, Mel picked a program. Says, okay, I guess that program put me into that robot, and I'll be that. And so then I'll be significant. Then I'll be successful. Then I'll be safe and secure. I'll be able to provide for myself as a program. And then she built that world. She built that life. She built that programmed life. Exactly as it was she was told. She got the house in the neighborhood with the HOA fees. I mean, when I just said that, all the spiritual people are like, laugh at that. But out there in Babylon, if you're not in a neighborhood with HOA fees, you're less than. That's ridiculous. We're looking at it like, dude, you're in a neighborhood with HOA fees. You're like, as if you weren't a slave enough already. You've just doubled down your slavery. Now you got to work for who's the HOA? Now you're working for them too. Now you're their slave too. You were already Satan's slave. You were already the government slave. And now you're some HOA's slave. You got to give up your life for them? And you don't even know what are they? Mel was wanting to get some of her sovereignty back in her Hoa house. Her little Hoa house, she's trying to get her sovereignty back. She's like, I'm going to grow some chickens. I'm going to raise some chickens so I can have my own eggs. Yeah, right? You can't do that in a Hoa house. Can't even, yeah. She wanted a well. She couldn't have a well. You can't have anything because you're a slave to the Hoas. What did you say? She couldn't even put a reef on her door.
You can't have grass growing in your cracks.
You can't have grass in your cracks. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. It's crazy what people put themselves through and into. The prisons they put them into for significance. The prison of significance. Well, this could have been called that, the prison of significance. So, yeah, that program didn't give it expression to her soul. It was a prison that she didn't even know she was in. You can't see the picture when you're inside of it. Once you sold her soul to the picture, to the program, it's a whole lot easier to lie to somebody than to convince them they've been lied to. It was hard for her to get out of that. It was impossible. It was literally impossible. After 17 years, after the hell that she went through to working her ass off while going to college to get that degree, paying all that money to get that, and then 17 years devoting her life to this career, devoting her life to build this life, which was actually a prison, to get herself out of that, it took a miracle. There's no way a human will could have got her out of that. It had to have been God that brought her out, that brought her back to life. Back then, she didn't have the divine design for what a woman was. She didn't have wisdom. She didn't have woman wisdom. She had robot wisdom. Robot, I guess it's wisdom. Yeah, it's wisdom in that world, which is anti-wisdom. She had wisdom in the Babylon that we grew up in is dumb. Yeah, wisdom. Oh, let's go, wisdom. She had wisdom. And every one of us had wisdom. Every one of us in Babylon, born into sin, are dumb. We have wisdom. And all the things that they teach us is a bunch of information that's disconnecting us from the source, making us head worshipers. We're relying on what we know versus who he is wisdom. And she had wisdom about what a woman is. And that's why everything felt so wrong inside of her. Now Mel's knows what a woman is because she went to the creator of women. If you want to know what the thing is, you go to the one that made it. You want to know what humans are for, what men are for, what women are for, go to the one who created men and women. And he's going to tell you. He already did. He told us exactly. There's a blueprint. There's a divine design. There's wisdom for women and there's wisdom for men. Back when she had wisdom, she thought a house was just a place to put our shit in. She didn't know that it was a home to pour her heart into, to raise a family, to grow a family. The whole point was a family. The whole point was connection with each other. There's love. Love is infinite connection. The whole point is to fill the home with love, to pour love. Let God guide her to pour love into that home around her, into everything, the cooking and the cleaning. The cooking and the cleaning is not a job for a slave. That's a gift to give. A service. You get to serve. If you want into the kingdom, you have to enter like a child, and you have to serve your way into it. You serve your way into the kingdom because it's in giving that we receive. The only way you can receive is by doing what? Giving. Mel gets that now. She gets that she gets to give. And she just pours into that home. And the love that she pours in, it just grows around her and within her. She's a wise woman. It wasn't until literally just a few nights ago when she finally completely saw the cost of lacking wisdom. She was going through what she calls her hell box, which was before she had completely transcended, completely died to self, because the programming keeps the self intact. It does everything that it can to make sure your ego doesn't die, that makes sure you keep working harder. There's Martha and Mary. Martha's like, I gotta cook, and she's doing it all for the wrong reason. Mary's just googly eyeing God. And Martha's like, no, look at her. She's worthless. She's missing the whole point. Jesus is like, no, you're missing the point. You're working for the wrong reason. You're a whore. Martha, you're a whore. You're giving to get. She's already got. And because she's got, she's just being with me. And if I tell her what to do, then she'll do it. If I don't, she won't. She's just googly-eyeing me. She's googly-eyeing love. So that's what God is calling forth inside of everybody. To googly-eye him, to stop doing things on the surface. Stop being robots doing things to get something, to get somewhere. He's saying, let all that go, let all that die. Let go and let God. He's going to fill you, and then he's going to direct you, and he's going to move you. So she went into her hell box, Mel's hell box, and which was like all of her, from her past program, her identity, who she thought she was. And she starts reading some of these love letters from her ex. And as she's reading it, like, now she has wisdom. So she has eyes to see. Wisdom gives you eyes to see. And suddenly everything is revealed. She's like, oh my God. Like, what Babylon programs into you as love is a complete anti-love. It's all about making sure everybody feels shame and guilt if they don't do for you what you've been programmed to think they have to do for you, and what they've been programmed. It's all the program. And if you don't follow the program, shame and guilt is what you should feel. And if you don't feel shame and guilt for not following the program, then you should be ashamed because you don't love. And so as she's reading this love letter, it's filled with shame, guilt, and hate, telling her about how much she should be ashamed of herself for not being exactly who he believes that she should be and doing exactly what he believes she should be doing. And she's thinking, and he's saying it because he loves her so much. Because I love you so much, you should be worshiping me. Like, I think he might even said those words. Did he say the words worship? He even said the words, or painted the picture, the word that you should be worshiping me for the rest of eternity because I love you that much. And that's going to show that you love me too. Worship me for all of eternity. It was crazy. So she's reading this. She's like, get this shit off of me. That was what she was living in, calling it love, calling it a life. It wasn't a life, it was a death. Who knows what I'm talking about? Go back and read your love letters from high school. Yeah. Done. Well, yeah, that's good, but it'd be good. Like, it's great to get rid of them, but to actually go back and read them now, it'd be very revealing to you to see what you thought love was. That was not even remotely close to love. It was codependent attachment that came from a lack of love, which came from a lack of wisdom, from not knowing who you are because you didn't know whose you are. So let me show you how deep wisdom actually goes. Wisdom is not just something God uses. Wisdom is someone God is. Before God laid a foundation, he laid out a pattern. Before God said, let there be, he was sitting with wisdom. Proverbs 8 says, wisdom was with him in the beginning, like an architect sitting at the table. 1 Corinthians 2 says, it's a mystery only the Spirit can reveal. So hear this. Wisdom equals God's principles, God's patterns, and God's presence. Wisdom equals his principles, his patterns, and his presence. Wisdom is all that combined. If there's no presence, there's no wisdom. If there's no pattern, you're guessing. If there's no principles, you're off the rails. Everyone say, I'm a wisdom walker. Everyone say, don't miss it. So we're on week 6 of a 7-week series. We started with the fear of the Lord as our foundation, and we chanted, keep fear holy. What did we say? Keep fear holy. Because if you don't fear the Lord, you're going to fear everything else. But if you do fear the Lord, the demons start to fear you. When you fear the Lord, the demons fear you. But if you don't fear the Lord, you're terrified of demons. So that's the foundation. When you've got that foundation laid, then perfect love casts out all fear. Because now that you fear the Lord, you've got his perfect love because he's your protector. He's your provider. You're no longer an orphan. You're a child of the Most High God. Royalty. And he's taking care of you. And you know nobody can mess with you no mo. Because you've submitted and yielded to him. You've given your life to him. So that's your foundation. And now this world no longer can fear you into submission. And so then we went to week 2. We remembered our true identity by gaining intimacy with God through the spirit of knowledge. And so we chanted. Anybody remember what we chanted? We say, I'm knowing till I know. I'm knowing till I know. Because we talked about how people don't know, they don't know who they are because they never knowed. They never said no to Babylon and yes to the world. Be not conformed to the patterns of this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So everybody say it one more time. I'm knowing till I know. See, that's what we didn't do when we went to that school system. We didn't say no to the school. We said, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which, look, I still got the whole damn thing programmed in. Isn't that crazy? I pledge allegiance to a flag? That was like kindergarten. In kindergarten. Yes, I pledge allegiance to the, what? Where's I pledge allegiance to God? And our parents were cool with that, knowing that's what we're doing. They're like, yeah, good boy, go get programmed in. Proud parent of an honor roll student. Well, pride cometh before fall. So, know until I know, that's what we didn't do, but now we do. Then we got the spirit of might, where we began feeling the full power and anointing of God. What did we say then? What was our chant?
Bold and mighty.
I'm bold and mighty. Say it again, I'm bold and mighty. I'm bold and mighty. And then we hit hard. That one was on Easter weekend. We did the Spirit of Counsel. I don't know what happened on that one, but that one, like, it hit. And that one actually, my YouTube video it's got like 4 times the views of all my other videos have for some reason. So something in that one it hit hard. Well, because it was the Spirit of Counsel, and that's where we started getting orders from headquarters. Anybody remember? We had 2 chants in there. What was the first one? Spirit-led, Spirit-fed. That was the main one. But we did one before we got that one. Like we had to die before we could resurrect. What was it? Put it on the altar. Everybody say, put it on the altar. Put it on the altar. And so that emptied us out. Put it on the altar, so we're not controlling anymore. And then the next one was, I'm Spirit-led, Spirit-fed. Everybody say it. Say it. Spirit-led, Spirit-fed. Because we knew if God places the order, He'll write the check. And so that's what the birds and bees know, flowers and trees. And God says, if I'll take care of them, imagine how much more I'll take care of you. See, they're Spirit-led and Spirit-fed, but we're information-led. We're domestication-led, and we're Babylonian, artificial, fake-fed. Fed a bunch of fakeness. And it just keeps getting more artificial. The food gets more and more fake because we're fake-led, so we're fake-fed. And so then last week, we moved into the spirit of understanding, where we don't just receive information, we receive transformation. That's when we finally started. Like that's what was like when I'll say the same thing from all these different angles, but it just never lands because we're missing the spirit of understanding. So last week we got it. Remember what our shout was? I'm getting it. Everybody say, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And then, so next week is our final week from this. These are the 7 spirits of God. And I'm super stoked about this one because this is the Spirit of the Lord. We're going to get the Big Daddy, the Mac Daddy of all of them we get next week. So I'm super stoked about that. Spirit of the Lord. I don't have the chant yet for that one. But that's where sonship becomes kingship. It's not what you know anymore. It's about what you embody. So this is about the full embodiment of God on earth as He is in heaven. That's what's going to happen next week. So y'all get ready for that. One last thing before we really dive too deep into the spirit of wisdom, which is what this, so today is the spirit of wisdom. So the wisdom is why. Everybody say, the wisdom is the why. It's the mind of God made visible. And we got a couple chants today. The first one that prepares us, we've already been saying both of them, but the first one is don't miss it. Everybody say, don't miss it. Don't miss it. And then the second one is I'm a wisdom walker. Everybody say, I'm a wisdom walker. I'm a wisdom walker. So again, before we go, what? You
said wisdom equals God's principles, God's patterns.
And presence. Principles, presence, and patterns. So we got Remember Experience coming up, and not next week, but the week after. If you have not registered, you can still get a spot. I'll wait till, so this goes out on Monday. If you're watching the recording, if you're the first ones that watch it, I'll leave there's a giant discount on Remember Experience right now. You go to rememberexperience.com. You can sign up right now. After Monday night, it's going to go back up, but it's okay. It's still worth it. It's infinitely valuable. But rememberexperience.com, and also my brand new book just came out yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, just yesterday. It's called From Good Man to God Man, and it's this simple, power-packed. It was decades of pain, not just for me, but my dad. In my bloodline, on my dad's side, almost all the men die of heart attacks. You know why they die of heart attacks? Because they're good men. I inherited the good man program. I was trying so hard to be a good man for most of my life, and that's my biggest message. I thought that was the solution. I thought that was the answer, being a good man. My dad had a heart attack. Both of his brothers had a heart attack. One of his brothers died. When I was a good man, living inside the good man program, I used to have heart palpitations. Like my heart would just do this little flutter thing, and I'm thinking I'm going to have a heart attack. And I went to the emergency room about it, and they said, well, yeah, it's called heart palpitations, and you just have that. And we can't get rid of that. And, at some point, the flap will get stuck open, and you'll just die. I'm like, what? There's nothing. It's like, yeah, you just have to deal with that now. And then I start Googling, and I'm like, heart palpitation, what's this? And I'm like Googling it. People are like, yeah, we just have to live with knowing that we could just die at any moment when this thing starts fluttering. The flap could stay open, and you just die. I'm like, what? But once my good man died, so did its heart palpitations, because I got a new heart now. I got a God heart now. And so literally, I don't have any heart problems. It's been a decade since I've had any heart problems. But science says I'm stuck with this for the rest of my life. And they didn't have any magic to fix that at that moment. But I didn't need magic, I need a miracle, and I got it. But the miracle was the death of who I'm not, born again, resurrected as a child of the Most High God, a God man. And so my book, there's wisdom. Here you go. Wisdom on a silver platter right there, and a gold platter, and a diamond-plated platter right there. Go to goodmantogodman.com. If you've ever been a man who gave everything, did everything right, and it still wasn't enough, I'm going to show you exactly what you did wrong and what you can do different. And it's, again, the pain that I went through to be able to, the crushing to make that diamond in that book, it's the thing. And you can just take this and read this. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but at least you're finally going to be able to see where you're going. At least you're not going to be swirling in confusion, like, why isn't this working? No matter how hard I try it, it only gets worse. All that, you'll finally know what way to do it. Again, I'm not saying it's easy, because we do the wrong thing so long, the right thing feels wrong, but at least you're going to have a map now. And I got everything that we know. We got the Good Man to God Man book, and then there's the God Man Forge. It's a 40-day fire where you're going to get forged, where we're going to kill Adam, which that's the problem. You're running the Adam blueprint, the Adam program. So we're going to kill that and then resurrect the God Man. Over that 40 days, we got the God Man Challenge coming out. So this is everything that I've been through my entire life. It's literally for this. This is the thing that's going to domino out to change the entire world is this one little message right here that everybody's been missing. Because how we got into hell is because Adam followed Eve. He became a good man. He was a God man. He followed Eve, became a good man, and then we went to hell. All of us were born into sin because Adam was a good man instead of a God man. This is the way home. And I see so many of my brothers suffering because they missed this one thing. I suffered for most of my life. And the hell that I went through to get this, and I've given it to you. So go get your book, goodmantogodman.com. All right, here we go. So the Spirit of Wisdom. Spirit of Wisdom is a gift from God, empowering believers to see the divine pattern, align with heaven's design, and build according to the mind of God. It goes beyond knowledge and understanding. It's spiritual sight that reveals what to build, why it matters, and how to walk in it. Wisdom is divine strategy born in the presence of God. It's not just information, it's revelation with direction. Revelation with direction. So you get the revelation, the awareness. So faith without works is dead. So it gives you the inspiration and the information on how to roll it out. That's what I'm saying. That book is like, it's the revelation from God and the blueprint and the pattern. It's a program from heaven to build to put, it's building from the inside out. You're not putting yourself inside of a shell. It's the structure that God meant for man will come out of you through that. So the fruits of the Spirit of wisdom, it produces heaven's vision, which means you don't just see the situation, you see what heaven sees. You recognize divine timing, patterns, and purpose. Another fruit is strategic alignment. You stop guessing, you start aligning. You're no longer reacting, you're responding to the mind of God. Another fruit is blueprint living. You build with precision. Every step, every move is guided by the heavenly design, not emotional impulse. Another fruit is supernatural foresight. You're able to anticipate and prepare because you see beyond the surface. You see beyond the surface and beyond the now. And then you also have another fruit is divine restraint. You know when not to move. Wisdom teaches you not every opportunity is obedience. You have surgical obedience. Your yes gets sharper and your no gets wiser. You're not distracted, you're dialed in. And then you get kingdom authority because wisdom rules. When you walk in wisdom, you walk in rulership. Your steps carry weight. Spirit of wisdom in action looks like Jesus refusing to move unless he saw the Father doing it. It looked like Noah building an ark designed for a flood before there was ever a single drop of rain. Like they'd never seen rain before. And he's saying there's a flood coming. That was the Spirit of wisdom moving him, and it gave him the exact design for the ark. He knew what he was preparing for. It looks like Moses following the exact pattern for the tabernacle because the wisdom was in the details. Like wisdom, there's nuance in there. Like in the old indoctrination domestication school system, you'll go to school and learn business from a dude who's never built a business. He's missing the wisdom that it takes to build a business. He just got book knowledge, regurgitating words, but you're missing, there's nuances. There's something that has to shift inside of you. Wisdom is a shift inside of you, and then a pattern and plan that comes out of you that you follow exact, step by step, exactly how it's supposed to be, the way that God wants it. Spirit of wisdom in action looks like us building what lasts while others are chasing what's loud. You know, January 25th, 2015, God came and asked for my life. I said, what are you going to do with it? He didn't tell me, but then I said yes without knowing what I'm saying yes to. After that, now I'm out of my head because I'm like not able to play chess with life anymore like what I used to. I'm like, if I do that, then that could happen. I could do that. And I was always planning it all out for the future. I was living in a plan that was made up in my own head from a limited perspective. But once God had asked for my life and didn't tell me what he was going to do, and I had to decide yes or no without knowing what I'm saying yes to, and I said yes, it emptied out my plan. And then after that, he gave me his plan. And one of the things he said I was going to do was reinventing the monetary system. And I'm like, what? I can't do that. He's like, correct, you can't. But I'm going to do it. Just stay out of my way. I'm giving you the plan. There's a divine design. You just follow the plan. You stick to the plan. And what he showed me, because again, it gives you revelation. It gives you see all the patterns. So now I could see God's pattern and I could see Babylon's patterns. They were like completely distinct. I'm like, oh, he showed me what Babylon built and then the perfect pattern on exactly what we're building. Because Babylon was built on, it was a representation of the sin that's inside of people. So sin it leads to death because you're in debt. Sin is a debt. So the perfect representation, it appears without, though it is within, is the Babylonian monetary system. The dollar. What's the dollar backed by? Debt. It's literally backed by debt, which again, it's the perfect monetary system for children of Satan who are in sin, who are in debt. But once you are bought by the blood of Jesus, you're not in debt anymore. So you got to come out of that system. You got to come out of that economy. You got to come out of that blueprint for a prison planet because that thing is about to be replaced by the beast system. And if you don't get out now, you ain't getting out. And so God created a plan. He gave me the divine design for his monetary system, his kingdom economy that's backed by abundance. It's built on abundance or backed by abundance because it's built on God, who he is everything. He's the source of all the supply. So it's built on God, by God, as God, with God, for God, through God. It's just God. And then he created a blueprint, a plan on how to unfold this with this thing he called the tree of life, which is a toroidal field. And people that are part of the tree of life, part of the kingdom economy, they're experiencing there. I mean, Kubi is 12 years old. He's like, I just made $600. I don't even know where it came from. It's just like pouring in. He's just got money through the tree of life, through the kingdom economy. A 12-year-old, not starting in debt, he's starting in abundance. He's literally got residual income already at 12 years old. Most people in Babylon don't have a residual income. At 40, 50, 60 years old. 12 years old already has it. Because we're building a kingdom economy that's built on God, who is everything. So it's infinite abundance is pouring through. And it's flipped the switch from consumer to creator. Now God's taking new territory with his new kingdom economy. It's expanding. We're starting to bring other properties into the kingdom economy, and communities, businesses, all these things are moving into the kingdom economy using God's currency. So, that was 10 years ago. God showed me that and then gave me the plan, and I just started walking. It didn't make it wasn't logical to the mind what he started calling me to do, but he did also showed me like what was going to happen. The two worlds are going to separate, and he showed me Babylon is going to collapse. It's going to fall. That blueprint is built on a faulty foundation. And he says in the Bible, it says, when Babylon falls, it's going to fall in 1 hour. The whole thing is going to collapse in 1 hour, and we are getting very close to that happening. So again, if you're in that still, you better come out now. Don't say I didn't say nothing. Nobody's going to be able to come back to me and say, John, if you knew all this, why didn't you tell me? I told you. I told you over and over. I got wisdom that God gave me. I didn't create this stuff. God gave me the wisdom. He gave me the understanding. He gave me the counsel. He gave me the knowledge. He gave me all this, and he's telling me to tell you, get out now. If you can hear my voice, get out now. I don't know when it's going down. Even Jesus didn't know, but I'm telling you, it's very near. It's very close. And when it goes down, it's going to be too late. If you're in it when it goes down, it's too late. You're not getting out. This is your chance, but you can't come out without him. He's your ticket out. So open up your heart, open up your mind, say, okay, I realize that I can't do it in my own will. Everything that I've done doesn't work. And I'm tired of being insane. Who here is done being insane? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Anything that when you're following the plan that was given to you by man, by Babylon, it's never going to work. It's never going to fulfill you. It's going to lead to death. So this is your opportunity to stop following your mind, stop following Satan, stop following Babylon, and give your heart to Jesus. Say, hey, I can't see the picture when I'm inside of it. I know I'm inside this picture right now. Just like Mel she had no clue the world that she was in until she got out of it. Jesus brought her out of it, and now he had her look back and see the craziness, the insanity that she couldn't see when she was stuck inside of it. So you receive him. When you receive him, his Holy Spirit's going to guide you out. So you can't solve a problem at the level of consciousness that created it, and you can't see the picture when you're inside of it. So if you let him in your picture and let him guide you out from a higher perspective, then you can come out. You can be free. But faith without works is dead. So it's going to, he's going to call you to discipleship. Salvation is free, but discipleship is going to cost you your life. So I'm inviting everybody, if you're done doing what doesn't work, I'm inviting you to open up your mind, open up your heart, and say, Jesus, I repent of my sins. I've made mistakes, and I apologize. I was wrong. And I'm ready to have what's right. I'm ready to have what works. I'm ready to have you. I receive you as my Lord and Savior. You've paid my debt. I don't have to keep hamster wheeling anymore. I don't have to keep trying to learn and earn my way into heaven. You've paid my way. You've bought my ticket. And I receive it fully. Amen. Great job, everybody. Thank you. So, when you lack wisdom, you think the purpose of working is to make more money. That's when you lack wisdom. You think the purpose of work is to make more money because you were indoctrinated, domesticated into working to build an illusion. Now you got Jesus, now you got God, now you got the divine designer. He's in you now. You just received him, and now he's going to give you wisdom. And he's going to give you a blueprint for the purpose of your life, exactly what you're meant to do, what he created you to create. Because once you've received him, you take orders from headquarters, you now know that you're going to be working, but you're not working for, you're working from. You're not working for safety and security, you're working from the kingdom. You're working from abundance. The kingdom is coming out of you, and you are now building it outside of you. From the inside out, you're starting to use God's wisdom, the orders from headquarters, the blueprint, the plan to establish his kingdom on earth as it is in heaven, the way that he originally divinely designed it. The Bible the Bible is a book about a king, God, a kingdom, heaven, a royal family, humanity, and the colonization of a foreign land called earth. That's the whole thing. It's the blueprint. It's a book of wisdom. It's the exact blueprint for what he created humanity for, what he created creation for, and what he created the creatures for. And he created all of this to extend heaven to earth, to extend eternity into time. And he's using us. He wants us to build it. He wants us to be the kings of our things and the queens of our scenes. So when you're a Babylonian orphan, you think the purpose of work is to make money, because money is your God. You can only serve one master, money or God. And if you're working so you can make money, money is your God. But when you're working because God says work, when you serve God, God's going to say work, and he's not going to even tell you if you're going to get paid for it. You're going to trust him, and you're on purpose, and when you follow purpose, provision follows you. That's why it's called provision. It's a provision. You got his vision. When you work for him, he works for you. Everything works for you. Everything works for your good when you're called according to his purpose, his divine design, and you're allowing yourself to be a member of that body, establishing his kingdom. The whole purpose of humanity is to establish God's kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. So so Babylon will teach you the purpose of work is so you can make money, because money is your God. It what keeps you alive. You don't have any life without money in Babylon. That's for real. And when they say, hey, when the beast system rolls out and they collapse the dollar, and now everybody's reset to zero, and they say, okay, but we got the beast system here, but now you got to do exactly what we say and don't do what we don't say, and all this, when you got to be a complete slave now, and we all realize that you're a slave, so you can either bow or die. You either bow to Satan or you don't eat, and neither does your family. That's what's going to happen if you're still in Babylon when this thing goes down. So, and you know that you're still in Babylon if you think the purpose of work is to make money, and you think the purpose of money is so that that's what's going to that's how you eat. Money isn't what makes you eat. Money makes you eat in Babylon, because that's what you were programmed in your indoctrination system. So when you, and they teach you how you make more money is you work harder and work more hours. But that's hustle and grind. That's what happened after Adam bit into sin. False perspectives. Now it says, okay, because you've done this, God says, because you've done this, now you're going to have to hustle and grind until you die. But in the kingdom, now that was an orphan. Now we've let go of our orphan identities. We just received the King of Kings. So now he makes us kings and queens. And then we become members of the body. Now he's going to put us to work. But it's not work to get something. It's work to give something. And it's in giving that we receive. And as we've already got it on the inside, but as we give it, we get it on the outside. We've already got the kingdom on the inside, but as we give it on the outside, that's how we receive it on the outside. We start to live in it because we give it. And so he's going to give you an exact blueprint, exactly the blueprint for you. Not a program that school gave you, but the blueprint for you. Our core message is earthwaking. Your only job for being alive is to be you. Only way you can possibly fail is by trying to be something you're not. Your difference is the only thing that can make a difference. He knows your difference. Babylon doesn't. School doesn't. Only he does. And he's giving you the wisdom right now. He's giving you the blueprint. He's showing you. It's happening right now. You're being filled with the spirit of wisdom right now. Everybody who can hear my voice right now, you are being filled with the spirit of wisdom, the blueprint, the why, the what, the where, the when of you. It's happening right now. Just receive it. Let it happen. Just let it happen. And so now you're not going to be working for money. You're going to be working from the kingdom, building it, bringing eternity into time, bringing heaven to earth, literally establishing the heavenly kingdom on earth in the divine design from the divine designer. And you are now part of that plan. How's that feel? So now let's learn from the one. So there's only one way to learn. It's through failure. Caveat is, it doesn't have to be through yours. You can learn through someone else. Well, that's how you learn. But wisdom is given to you. It's freely given. Wisdom is freely given. But most people laugh in the face of wisdom because we do the wrong thing so long the right thing feels wrong. And they're worshiping what they know. People are worshiping what they know or what they think they know. Because, again, it's easier to lie to someone than to convince them they've been lied to. So they've been lied to, and they're regurgitating lies, not even knowing it. And the lie was programming them to fight for the lies. And they don't even know that program was inside of them. And so when you come in with wisdom and start telling them the truth will set you free. But it'll piss you off first. You've been fighting for a lie. So they reject wisdom. And people who reject wisdom are foolish. And so we're going to... the spirit of wisdom is the presence of God, revealing the patterns of God, so you can live by the principles of God. So we're going to learn from the one referred to as the wisest man to ever exist. He's the OG, the original wisdom walker. Anybody know who I'm talking about? Solomon. King Solomon. Let's go. Yeah, Jesus, but he came after Solomon. King Saul. Yeah, so... this is 1 Kings 4:29 through 34. It says, God gave Solomon wisdom. So God came to Solomon and said, what do you want? I'll give you anything. Solomon says, I want wisdom. He could have anything he wanted. He says, I pick wisdom. That was a wise decision. God gave Solomon wisdom and very great insight and a breadth of understanding as measureless as the sands on the seashore. Solomon's wisdom was greater than the wisdom of all the people of the East, greater than all the wisdom of Egypt. He was wiser than anyone else, including Ethan and Ezrahite, wiser than Heman, Calcol, and Darda, the sons of Mahal. And his fame spread all around the surrounding nations. He spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs numbered 1,005. He spoke about plant life, from the cedar of Lebanon to the hyssop that grows out of the walls. He spoke about animals and birds, reptiles and fish from all nations. He spoke about animals and birds, reptiles and fish. Different categories. If you have wisdom, yeah, you know those are in different categories. If you're programmed by Babylon, you smash them all together. All right. From all nations, people came to listen to Solomon's wisdom, sent by all the kings of the world who had heard of his wisdom. Because he had wisdom, he had everything. Everybody were willing to give up hundreds of millions of dollars just to get some of his wisdom. And he had an infinite supply. It doesn't matter how much you give to him. He's got an infinite supply. It never goes away. Wisdom, it never goes away. The more you give it, the more it is. So we're going to read quite a bit of his wisdom through Proverbs. There's a lot about wisdom. Pretty much Proverbs is pretty much all about wisdom. So Proverbs 8 is about wisdom's call. Proverbs 8:22. The Lord brought me forth as the first of his works, before his deeds of old. I was formed long ages ago, at the very beginning, when the world came to be. This is wisdom speaking. Wisdom saying, I was formed long ages ago, at the very beginning, when the world came to be. When there were no watery depths, I was given birth. When there were no springs overflowing with water. Before the mountains were settled in place, before the hills, I was given birth. Before God made the world or its fields, or any of the dust of the earth, I was there. Wisdom was there before God did any of this. I was there. Wisdom was there with him when he set the heavens in place. When he marked out the horizon on the face of the deep. When he established the clouds above. When he fixed securely the foundations of the deep. When he gave the sea its boundary, so the waters would not overstep his command. And when he marked out the foundations of the earth. And I was constantly at his side. See, we wonder how all this stuff works together. How can this be possible? It's possible through wisdom. Wisdom is the spirit of wisdom is the one that divinely designed all this, a blueprint so that it could all work in harmony with each other. When God gave the sea its boundary, so the waters would not overstep his command. And when he marked out the foundations of the earth, I was constantly at his side. I was filled with delight day after day, rejoicing always in his presence, rejoicing in his whole and delighting in mankind. Now then, my children, listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Do not disregard it. Blessed are those who listen to me, watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway. For those who find me find life and receive favor from the Lord. But those who fail to find me harm themselves, and all who hate me love death. See, before there was a garden, before there was even a cross, before there was a let there be, there was wisdom. We just read Proverbs 8:20. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his work. Before the mountains, before the skies, before the seas, I was there. Wisdom was there at the beginning, before anything happened. And if God goes to wisdom before he does anything, what should you do? Wisdom was the first voice in the war room of creation. Not an idea, not a vibe, a spirit, a person, and a presence. Verse 30 says, I walk beside him like a master craftsman. Let that hit you. Wisdom says, I walk beside God like a master craftsman. Before God started building, he consulted the pattern. You're out here trying to move in might, trying to step with counsel, trying to understand what God's saying. But if you don't have the wisdom, you might win a battle that was never yours. You might do something impressive that collapses under your own hands. Because if you don't walk in the pattern, you're going to repeat the pain. I'll say it again. Everybody say that with me. If I don't walk in the pattern, I'm going to repeat the pain. Who here has ever repeated pain in life over and over? The same pain. Because you didn't walk in the pattern. You followed the blueprint Babylon gave you versus the wisdom that God granted you. But open up your hearts and receive the spirit of wisdom. Let it pour in. Everybody say, don't miss it. Everybody say, I'm not going to miss it this time. Wisdom knocked at my door before. This time I'm answering. This time I'm not going to be foolish. This time I'm not going to slam the door in wisdom's face. I'm going to pause for the cause. I'm going to receive what wisdom is saying. And I'm going to go where wisdom is guiding. I'm not missing it this time. See, this is why Paul said in 1 Corinthians 2:7, we declare God's wisdom, a mystery that has been hidden and that God destined for our glory before time began. This is not surface level wisdom. This is not a life hack. This is pre-Genesis wisdom. Genesis is the beginning. This is pre-beginning wisdom. Everybody say, I'm getting it. Yeah. This is wisdom that's older than sin. This is wisdom that's older than your pain. This is wisdom that's older than the battle that you've been going through. It's ancient. It knows. You don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to struggle anymore. You don't have to guess anymore. You just got to humble yourself and let wisdom in. You just got to know that you don't know. But wisdom does. And it's going to give you the blueprint. It's going to show you the whole plan before you swing the hammer. Measure twice and cut once. But in order even to know what you're measuring, you got to have the plan. That's wisdom. So how does wisdom come? Verse 10 says, these are the things that God has revealed to us by his Spirit. So how does wisdom come? He reveals to wisdom by his Spirit. You don't grind for this. You don't Google this. You don't guess this. You receive this. Everybody say, I receive this. I receive this. Everybody say, I'm a wisdom walker. Everybody say, I don't build without the pattern. I don't move without the presence. I don't flex without the foundation. His principles keep me grounded. His patterns keep me aligned. His presence keeps me sharp. Everybody say, this ain't luck. This ain't hustle. This is heaven. Everybody say, I'm a wisdom walker. Everybody say, if heaven ain't showing, I ain't going. Everybody say, don't miss it. All right, let's get back to more of the OG of wisdom, the OG wisdom walker. He's got a ton of wisdom here. So this one is Proverbs 4. It's called Get Wisdom at Any Cost. How much should you pay for wisdom? Whatever it costs. Because anything else, see, wisdom is freely given, but if you don't receive it, it's going to cost you everything. So give up everything for it. This is the pearl of great price. When you find the pearl of great price, you give up everything else and you get this. First, everybody say, first things first. Second things not at all. Everybody say, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And right now, the main thing is receiving wisdom. So Proverbs 4, listen, my sons, to a father's instructions. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding, and do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head and present you with a glorious crown. Proverbs 26, wise sayings about fools. Wise sayings about fools. Proverbs 26. Just as snow should not fall in summer, nor rain at harvest time, so people should not honor a fool. Don't worry when someone curses you for no reason. Nothing bad will happen. Such words are like birds that fly past and never stop. I'm going to pause on that because that's some wisdom. This is wisdom that I had to learn and earn myself because I was too smart for the Bible. So I paid the price on this. Like, I worried when somebody cursed me for no reason before. I wanted them to learn. I wanted them to know that they were wrong. And now I wanted everybody to know that they were wrong. I was so worried about what they thought. I was so worried about reputation because I missed character. And I missed character because I didn't have the blueprint. I didn't have the blueprint because I didn't have wisdom. I didn't have wisdom because I never read the Bible because I was too smart for it. Guess what? I was a fool. You don't have to do what I did. Go straight to wisdom first. You have to whip a horse. You have to put a bridle on a mule, and you have to beat a fool. There is no good way to answer fools when they say something stupid. Everybody, so we don't miss this one. Everybody, repeat after me. There's no good way to answer a fool when they say something stupid. Who here has ever answered a fool when they said something stupid and thought, yeah, and how'd that work out for you? Waste of time. See, you could have just got the wisdom that Solomon gave to you. He gifted this to you right here. He told you right here. You don't have to find this out for yourself. I've tested it. You've tested it. We've tested it. This is wisdom. There is no good way to answer fools when they say something stupid. If you answer them, you too will look like a fool. Who knows that's the truth right there? How many times did you get into a fight with a pig and you got dirty and they loved it? Yeah. If you don't answer them, they'll think they're smart. Never let a fool carry your message. If you do, it will be like cutting off your own feet. You're only asking for trouble. A fool trying to say something wise is like a crippled person trying to walk. Showing honor to a fool is as bad as tying a rock in a sling. A fool trying to say something wise is like a drunk trying to pick a thorn out of his hand. Hiring a fool or a stranger who is just passing by is dangerous. You don't know who might get hurt. Like a dog that returns to its vomit, a fool does the same foolish things again and again and again. People who think they are wise when they are not are worse than fools. Most dangerous information is what you think you know that just ain't so. Proverbs 18:2. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. Who knows what I'm talking about? Proverbs 29:11. A fool gives vent to his full spirit, but a wise man quietly holds back. Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. So if you're ever given advice to somebody and they hate you, then for it, you know that's a fool. If you ever hate somebody who's actually trying to assist you, giving you grace, giving you wisdom, and you spit in their face, you're a fool and you're going to have to pay. That was free. What wisdom gave you was free, and now wisdom is going to laugh in your face whenever you fall on it. The wise lay up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool brings ruin near. Proverbs 18:6. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. Proverbs 15:7. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, not so the hearts of fools. In Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. Who here is ready to be a wise man? Say, I am. I am. Everybody say, okay, I'm going to listen to advice. Everybody say, I'm not going to miss it this time. Everybody say, I'm getting it. So let me paint a picture. There's a man has bricks, strong ones, the kinds you could build an empire with. He's got tools, he's got time, he's got drive. So he starts building brick on brick, ministry on ministry, business on business, hustle on hustle. But there's just one problem. He never looked at the blueprint. It looked good to people. It even looked good to him. But the pattern wasn't heaven's. The design wasn't divine. And one day when the storm came, what do you think happened? Matthew 7:24-27. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash. So again, Jesus said, therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into place is like a wise man who builds his house on the rock. That's not just obedience, that's wisdom. That's alignment. That's building by the voice and the vision of God. But the one who hears and doesn't do, he's like a man who built on sand. It wasn't weak because it was fast. It wasn't weak because it wasn't deep. It was weak because it wasn't wise. The storm came to both houses, the same wind, the same rain, the same shaking, but one stood and the other one fell. Because the one that stood had wisdom, the one that failed didn't. Not because the bricks were bad, but because the pattern was missing. That man had power, the spirit of might. He had material, spirit of knowledge. He had timing, spirit of counsel. He even started understanding what God was saying, but he was missing one thing, wisdom, the blueprint, the reason, the why. Because strength without pattern collapses, and obedience without wisdom can still be off course. So everybody say it with me. I'm not building with bricks alone. I'm getting the blueprint. I'm getting wisdom. I'm a wisdom walker. Don't let your strength fool you, and don't let your momentum deceive you, because if it ain't built on wisdom, it's not going to survive the storm. But when you've got the spirit of wisdom, it's done before it's done. Everybody say, I'm a wisdom walker. Everybody say, I got the blueprint. Everybody say, I ain't guessing. I'm guided. Everybody say, don't miss it. So you've had the might, you've had the knowledge. You've even had the understanding. But now God's handing you the blueprint. Everybody say, don't miss it. God's not just handing out steps, He's revealing a strategy. Everybody say, don't miss it. He's not just giving you power, He's giving you a pattern. This season isn't just about momentum, it's about alignment. Don't miss it. He's not just speaking, he's showing. Don't miss it. He's not just giving you answers, he's unveiling blueprints. Don't miss it. You ask for strength. This time he's giving you sight. Everybody say, don't miss it. He's not calling you just to build, he's calling you to build right. Everybody say, don't miss it. You're not just called to move, you're called to move in sync. Don't miss it. God's laying the pattern, he's drawing the map, he's whispering why. Everybody say, don't miss it. The spirit of wisdom is resting in this room. Everybody say, don't miss it. So you're not going to grind your way into a grave. You're going to build what heaven's already designed. Everybody say, I'm not building off of vibes. I'm not grinding off guesses. I'm building by the blueprint. I'm walking in divine design. And if heaven ain't showing, I ain't going. Everybody say, don't miss it. See, we're not building off of vibes. We're done guessing and calling it God. We're done asking for strength when what we really needed was sight. Because if the pattern doesn't match, the power won't last. If the vision ain't clear, the victory is not going to matter. We're not here to be impressive. We're here to be in alignment. Everybody say, don't miss it. We're not here to move fast. Everybody say, don't miss it. Everybody say, I'm moving wise. I got wise eyes. I'm a wisdom walker. Say it again, I'm a wisdom walker. I don't move blind. I don't move broke. I don't move out of fear. I move with the might of God. Sight before strength. Wisdom before the word. Victory before the vision. Vision after the victory. Wisdom first. Wisdom first. I'm not chasing open doors. I'm following divine design. I'm a wisdom walker. I'm a wisdom walker. I'm walking in wisdom. Say yes. Yes. Say yes. Yes. Say yes. Yes. Everybody say, if heaven ain't showing, I ain't going. Because I got wisdom. I got the blueprint. I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to guess it. I'm a wisdom walker. See, if you've been building without a blueprint, if you've been moving with strength but no sight, if you've been crying out for answers, but you realize today that you don't need a plan, you need the spirit of wisdom. Whenever you feel the call, come to the altar. Lay it all down. Lay down everything that you thought that you knew. Empty your cup and receive the wisdom. Spirit of wisdom is here not just to give you steps, but to give you vision. Not just to help you work, but to show you what to work on. Not just to help you survive, but to align you with heaven's design. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to grind blindly anymore. You don't have to chase what looks good. You're about to be led by what God has already planned. Let's close our eyes and pray. Deep breath in. Letting it all go. Another deep breath in. Letting it all go. Spirit of wisdom, rest on every builder in this room. Let divine sight flood every eye. Let the map unfold. Let the pattern be revealed. Open their eyes like you did for Elisha's servant, so they can see the unseen. Open their spirit to heaven's design. Let every assignment be confirmed. Let every false step be rerouted. Let every pressure realign. Rest on us, Spirit of wisdom. I declare over every son and daughter in this room who can hear my voice right now, I declare over all of them, you will not build aimlessly anymore. You will not waste your strength. You will not fight shadow wars. You will walk in divine design. From this day forward, you are a wisdom walker. You don't move without the pattern. You don't speak without the sight. And you don't step without the Spirit. It is done in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Everyone say, I'm a wisdom walker. Everyone say, I walk by pattern. Everyone say, I don't guess, I build. would say, if heaven ain't going, if heaven ain't showing, I ain't going. I'm aligning with the design. And I will not miss it. You've heard the word. You've seen the pattern. Now it's time to walk it like you see it. Because the mark of a wisdom walker is not how loud they shout. It's about how clearly they build. This week, we're not moving by pressure. This week, we're not guessing our way forward. This week, we're not taking on every opportunity just because it's open. This week, we're walking with sight. We're not reacting, we're responding. We're not hustling, we're aligning. We're not wandering, we're building by the blueprint. We've got what we need because we've got who we need. The Spirit of wisdom is with us, resting and revealing, reforming. So walk like you see it, speak like you know it, build like you've been there before. Because you have. It's already done on the inside. It's already done from the kingdom. In eternity, it's already done. You've got the blueprint now. Everybody say, I've got the blueprint now. You're not just going into this next week, you're stepping into it like a king and a queen who's seen the throne room. You're a wisdom walker. Now go walk into it. Walk right. Walk strong. Walk clear. And listen.